Welcome to the Music City Experts Broker Bites Podcast, where we share with you some interesting people. We introduce you to some incredible listings and help you work on growing your business and talk to you a little bit about what makes Music City Experts deliberately different. I've got a guest with me today, Greg Pihs with Music City Experts. He is one of my superstar, rockstar agents, and super excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Greg, get a little closer. Hang on, let's just start over one more time. Sorry.
What?
I know, you're ready. Now you're ready.
That's good.
Just straight on. Yep. Sorry, I didn't want to go there. Yeah, but yeah.
Drop this down.
Yeah.
Just pull it, or?
Yep. It can adjust and you can turn it. There you go.
Cool.
Oh, crispy.
You be a professional podcast guest.
Yeah, you should be a host. All the insight you got. All right.
Hi there, welcome to the Music City Experts Broker Bites Podcast. I am here today with an incredible guest, Greg Pihs at Music City Experts.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Greg is one of my superstar agents. This podcast is brought to you in an attempt to try to introduce you to some incredible, amazing agents that we have at Music City Experts. I want to introduce you to some fantastic listings along the way and share with you some broker advice and tips and guidance on how to grow your business a little bit. So I brought Greg on here today to talk to us a little bit about his story and what got him into real estate and kind of share some insight into his success along the way. So Greg, tell us a little bit about your story.
Absolutely. So real estate, I guess, you know, as when I was younger, I had a little bit of childhood trauma that I experienced and ended up growing up in detention centers and institutionalized and such, and joined the Marine Corps from a group home and went on to, I served 8 years. I did 3 tours in Iraq, and sometime after getting out, I got into real estate, and of course, why real estate? And actually, I got out in 2011, and in 2012, I was invited to a Robert Kiyosaki seminar, and it just blew my mind seeing how people in the real estate industry, how they operated, how they served, how they helped. I was mesmerized by it. I absolutely wanted to do it in 2012. And I really spent the following, say, 8 or 9 years positioning myself to actually be able to launch a successful real estate business, and finally pulled the trigger a little bit over a year ago. So
what kind of things did you do to position yourself for that? Like, what did you feel like you had to do to prep for this?
Yeah, that's a good question. And a lot of it was educating myself on a lot of reading books. What is real estate? How are people serving their clients? Not really the details of any contracts or things of that nature. I didn't even know what those were. But nonetheless, how do you operate serving others, and how do you help others through real estate?
And you came from a service industry to begin with, right? When you got out of the Marine Corps.
I did. I started in the restaurant industry. I began there serving, as a server, and that escalated. And honestly, had a very successful career going in the restaurant industry, being a general manager, and on track to move on to a district level. And honestly, I wrapped that up because I was still so excited about launching a business in real estate.
That's fantastic. What do you think, so you're newer to the business, right? Like, you've been in the business
just a little bit over a year and a half.
A little over a year and a half. Talk to me a little bit about your experience thus far. So, like, you did a lot of prep work to get into the industry, prepared yourself mentally, read a lot of books, wanted to make sure that you understood how to make a business of this. And then what's your experience been like since you got? So
the gate opened, I went out running, and I fell flat on my face.
I love that story.
No, that's serious. It was a challenge. Roughly speaking, the first 6 months, I actually didn't start with this brokerage, and the first 6 months was very challenging. I thought I knew more than what I did, and there was a lot of those detail pieces that without someone taking the time to mentor and share what those finite pieces were, I wasn't getting traction.
I think that's something that a lot of agents struggle with that are brand new to the business, is you're watching what other people are doing, you're taking notes thinking, I've got to duplicate this, And what works for you doesn't work for somebody else, but you're trying to do all the same things that everybody else is doing, but you also have no guidance in a lot of places.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And being here, I mean, since being with Music City Experts, I've really been able to expand, grow, and scale my business very, very large. And it's definitely a difference when you do have those classes and that support and that mentorship available to you.
That's perfect. One of the things I love about you that we share when you talk to me about is that your level of service is unlike what other agents provide to their clients. So talk to us a little bit about where you go the extra mile that others may not, and how that benefits your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that to be my add value to clients that decide that we're a fit to work together. And honestly, that's the most important part. I don't believe everyone should work with me. I don't believe I should work with everyone. I want people that want to work with me, and I want people that I want to work with. And my value to my clients definitely is my integrity and my tenacity. We're going to get it done the right way, and if we have to go through 8 roadblocks, we're not going to cut a corner on the 7th one. We're going around or through every single roadblock until we get to the end.
Love that. Definitely meant, I think a lot of people would associate that with a military mentality of nothing's going to stop me, and
Absolutely.
We're not giving up, we're not quitters. What do you think are some of the things that make you unique?
So, that's a tough question. I would again suggest that, you know, my level of discipline, integrity, tenacity, based upon my life and the things that I've been through, I'm blessed to have gone through a self-development journey and to have conquered forgiveness and things of that nature. And I am, as you say sometimes, very aware of myself and then those that are around me. And so I operate as best as possible with the platinum rule. And, you know, it's not do unto others as you want done unto you, but as they want done unto themselves. And so I would suggest that one thing that makes me unique is paying attention to what others want versus what I would want.
Yeah, one of our code of ethics is we must always put our clients' interests above our own. And I think we all know the code of ethics. We've all studied the code of ethics. We've all had to agree to the code of ethics when we joined the Realtor Association. But I don't think a lot of people operate with that in mind, that I've got to put these people's interests ahead of my own.
And honestly, when you do operate in that manner, I say, you know, in the shortest form, why is my business successful? I say, well, I just love on people and they love back on me. But that's the truth, though. When you do put people first, they'll turn around and put you first when the opportunity comes.
Always, always. I love a lot about your story. I love a lot about how you got to where you are today. Let's talk a little bit about, because you do, I think people when they see you, they say, oh, this guy's a former Marine. I don't have that kind of dedication. I don't have that kind of drive that Marines have. Do you think that you have some kind of routines or habits that people who are not former military could adapt or could start implementing in their business to reach the same level of success that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest piece that I would tell people, I mean, we could talk about, oh, get up early and make phone calls and do this. But more importantly, what I would suggest to people is stop focusing on what doesn't work. What you focus on will grow, and if you're focusing on what doesn't work, so if you come into a hurdle or a roadblock and you've shared it with 10 people and you bump into an 11th person and you're dying to share it with them, then what is not working will begin to grow as you focus your energy on it. So as soon as you acquire or learn something that doesn't work, if you force yourself to solve that problem, you will then begin to acquire a list of knowns and become more of an expert in your field.
Okay, so do you have any routines or structures in your day that you think have kind of laid down some foundation for what you're doing?
Pass on that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, well, and honestly, I'm not sure that I'm sure people want to hear about, get up at 5 a.m. every day, but sometimes it's literally 3 a.m. and maybe it's 7 a.m.
Sure.
And if I say I'm making 10 calls today, but something's a higher priority, that's what's getting done today. But it's realigning. Most people think they need a structure because if they don't have something to do, they won't be doing anything, which then becomes your personal discipline and tenacity. But to be fair, I wouldn't suggest that I have a very rigid structure that has to be done at the same time every day.
That's
it's really
perfect.
just prioritizing.
That's actually the answer that I was hoping you were going to go with, is because I do think that people look at you as a former Marine and they say, this guy wakes up at 5 a.m., he eats breakfast from 5 a.m. to 5:15, he goes to the gym 5:30 to 7. 5:30 to 7. He goes to the gym from 5:30 to 7. He reads from 7 to 8. Like that you are pre-programmed and planned out down to the minute. And I don't know that that's true, but I do know you have some routines in your day.
Well, and fair enough, you definitely sparked some thought for me there. And I guess, you know what? One of the routines that I do is simply writing everything down. I'm constantly walking around with a notepad, a list of paper. If you've interacted with me, you've seen me do it. There's no way that want to be educated on the process. People that are looking for help on conquering it. And honestly, again, I really, really enjoy working with sellers even more so than buyers, because I really enjoy building the intimacy of taking this property, this home that you have established and lived in for a number of years, depending on that client, and helping them build a marketing plan that makes sense to accomplish their goal and get the amount of money that they want for this home that they're so emotionally attached to.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's great for agents to pick. You've got to have a target client that you want to work with. You've got to have somebody identified that you think would gel with you, that would respect your time, and I think it's good to have a list. But I think sellers buy you a lot of freedom in this business.
Absolutely.
Frees up your schedule, frees up, you do a lot of work on the front end, and you can have a unique marketing plan. But a lot of people have bought a house but have never sold a house. So you really have an opportunity to show value in helping them with something they're not familiar with.
Absolutely. And the people, the sellers also tend to be more, it's been my experience that I tend to build more of a bond or a relationship with that seller, again, because we're working with something that's very intimate to you, whereas with the buyer, we're just looking for something to create.
Sure. The bottom line is that there's emotions attached to both sides of it. But sometimes, people bring their babies home to their house. They raise their children in their home. Maybe their dog is buried in the backyard. They've got emotional attachments to their home. And sometimes they need someone to step in and help advocate to strip those emotions away from the business decision of selling their house. So,
absolutely.
Any advice that you might have for any agents out there that are really trying to duplicate your success? Let's talk about your success for a second, because you talked a little bit about it, but I want to brag on you for a second. One of the reasons I asked Greg to be here is because in a year and a half, you guys know that the average agent in the country closes 7 deals a year in the entire country, right? Greg has been in the business for a year and a half, and I think he has closed 18 deals in a year and a half, at least 18 with us, the Music City experts, and sold over $5.5 million in real estate in a year and a half. And that is badass. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It's been exciting working with others and serving and helping them. And as far as advice goes for other agents, I would recommend determining, if you're a new agent, the first thing I would suggest is determining your why. Why exactly are you doing real estate? Why do you want to serve other people? And the second piece I would suggest is read as much as you can. Someone has already done everything that we're looking to do, and if you can get a mentor like Laura or someone in front of you, if you're lucky as I am, then do that and take that as far as you can. If you absolutely cannot get a physical mentor in front of you, read these books. These people have done and already went where we're looking to go, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
I think that's where a lot of agents struggle. That's great advice. I think that's the problem, is that people come into this business and they think, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and it's going to be innovative and creative, and it's going to be new, and nobody's ever heard of it. I'm going to make bazillions of dollars. The reality is this is a relationship business.
Absolutely.
We are selling a product of a house, whether it's a listing or a buyer, but we're really building a relationship of trust where people are going to allow us to help service them, help them provide a service to sell their home. But it's the relationship that's going to earn us the business.
Absolutely.
Doesn't need to be reinvented. That doesn't need to be invented.
Well, and furthermore, once you have that relationship and that bond with someone, and they're willing to trust you to ensure that this gets to the end, even if you run into a roadblock along the way, that's just an opportunity for you to add another known in your toolbox, and you seek out your brokerage and you gain that answer. But if that person didn't trust you, they'd never give you the opportunity to possibly overcome that roadblock.
I agree. Well, I'm super proud of you. I'm really pumped about just the success you've had, but also just who you are as a person, the growth that you've accomplished in a year and a half since I've known you, your personal growth, your professional growth. I'm really excited to call you my friend, and I'm really proud of you. Tell us some fun fact that no one knows about you that you probably don't tell everybody, but that people would find interesting.
So
I know you've done some crazy things in your life, I'm sure. There's like a story there or
so I maybe I guess you know what, so I don't I used to do competitive bodybuilding.
awesome.
And but I guess most people look at me and probably like, oh yeah. I don't compete anymore. I still enjoy doing the nutrition side and going to the gym just almost as a sheer habit. But at one point in time, I actually did it competitively.
So I think you still train like that, you still eat like that, you just don't compete, is that?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the and I recommend everyone do this for everything that they're doing in life. Just stop before it's not fun no more. And so competing became not fun for me no more, but I still totally enjoy the nutrition in the gym. And naturally, I do tend to train and eat as if I'm getting ready for a competition, but there's no stress of actually peaking for the show.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing the fun fact with us and letting us a little into your world and so finding out some more about you. Thanks for being my guest today. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to share with the listeners out there about you or your business? How can people find you?
That's great, absolutely. So if you're looking to reach out to me, the best way is going to be an email, and it's my first name, Greg, Greg, at musiccityexperts.com. And if you heard anything today that intrigued you, any questions you have, absolutely reach out. I'd love an opportunity to connect with you and discuss more.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.